Hello everyone and welcome to the Cannolo Report. I'm Giovanna Battaglia from the Culture Department of Special Sicily and we're broadcasting from Sicily. As usual, we're going to talk about very interesting things like this one here. In different schools around the world, children know Sicily because of the fact that when the geography teacher talks about Italy, it says that it's shaped like a boot and it seems that it kicks Sicily. Children laugh and will never forget it for their entire life. Who takes this kick is Capo Peloro, one of the three heads of Sicily, also called Punta del Faro. It is the part of Sicily closest to Italy, just 3 kilometers away and not even 20 minutes by ferry. It is a magical place full of meanings, legends, and enchantments. Punta del Faro is the first vision of Sicily that one sees returning from Italy, and it is also the first thing that one is leaving while going away from Sicily. It meant tears for many immigrants who left Sicily in the past. Who knows when we will ever see Punta del Faro again, they all thought. In its seabeds lived monstrous abyssal fish that occasionally rise to the surface. Here are 2 seas that meet, and there are very strong currents that legend says is the work of 2 sea monsters, Scilla in Sicily and Cariddi on the side of Italy. Here there is a lighthouse that was of absolute importance in the past, and right at the end of Punta del Faro, there is a 225-meter high pylon. Well, it is the Sicilian Eiffel Tower. And a few days ago, a Polish man secretly decided to climb it. You get chills just looking at him. Our Silvana Restivo from the Culture Department went to find Uncle Cola, an 85-year-old gentleman who still delights in making the so-called giumma or pam-pam, or small fabric decorations. In Sicily, they were made by carters or mule drivers to harness their mules. A job that is disappearing, but that is part of the ethno-anthropological heritage of our land, and that we as Mesci Sicily keep it in our archive of Sicilian memory. And now we will tell you the beautiful story of a Sicilian nun of the 1800s, Mother Teresa, born Biagio Cortimiglia. Rosanna Paternoster reports. On December 14, 2019, in Corleone, the work and commitment of Sister Amalia is publicly recognized in an award ceremony. Sister Amalia, born Grazia Genovese in Catania in 1951, and lovingly cares for the House Museum located in the heart of the historic center of Corleone and dedicated to the founder of the Order of the Sisters of Santa Chiara, the Venerable Mother Teresa Cortimiglia. Mother Teresa born Biagio Cortimiglia on February 7, 1867, to a wealthy family. She lost her father when she was young, but her mother remarried a man who was also wealthy and immediately became attached to Biagio. Becoming a nun, she wanted to buy the current house museum, thanks to the money of her adopted father. Here she moved with other sisters on May 27, 1907. 100 years later, we visit this place. On the lower floor, you can still see the poor areas of the kitchen, where the objects that were used for daily life are kept. On the first floor, instead, there are some sacred vestments on display that were worked and embellished by the hands of the embroiderers of the embroidery course that was held at the Institute. Also, in particular, the figure of the child placed in a display case is striking. It is said that Mother Teresa possessed a small statue that she used to call with the name Nino Mio, that is, my little one, and that she always carried with her, making clothes, shoes, and various objects for the child. A popular story motivates the ruined fingers of the small statuette with the fact that one night, while it was stored inside the nun's bedside table, the effigy began to scrape from the inside of the drawer as to get out of it. Inside the adjacent church, illuminated by a small flame, you can see the founder's tomb, visible from a window with the grate inside the structure. On the upper floor, there is the bedroom, which preserves the tools of the penance with which the devotee flogged herself. Sister Amalia brings us to visit the house museum with enthusiasm, but before saying goodbye, she shows us the sacred wheel, still attached to the walls, difficult to open, because he has been in disuse for some time. Here the children were still brought in swaddling clothes, orphans who found hospitality, and were also educated in this place. Almost 100 years after her birth, the spirit of Mother Teresa Cortimiglia still lives within these walls. Weather forecast: mostly sunny on the whole island with some rare precipitation. Temperatures between 16 and 10 degrees in coastal areas, with peaks of even 20 degrees. Snow above 1,500 meters. The sun rises around 6:55 a.m. and sets around 5:35 p.m. And let's talk about the feast in Sicily, an island where you take every opportunity to leave the houses and celebrate something or someone. February 9 is San Corrado in Noto, the beautiful Baroque capital city in the world. Double opportunity, therefore, both to enjoy the beauties of the splendid city and to live a festive event in Sicily. In this video, you see the faithful wearing these huge cups as a sign of devotion. The bones of the saint are found inside the chest carried on the shoulders. A few years ago, they were recomposed as far as possible to form the body of San Corrado.
Corrado Confalonieri è un nobile piacentino che vive a Piacenza agli inizi del Trecento in una città divisa.
Corrado Confalonieri was a nobleman from Piacenza and was Franciscan. He was expelled and excommunicated because the Franciscans persisted in talking about the poverty of Jesus Christ and the apostles.
Ma i terziani francescani
He takes refuge in Sicily, where Federico III of Aragon ruled, also excommunicated by the Pope. So Corrado, after crossing all of Italy as a pilgrim to Rome, will embark for Palermo and decide to move to Noto, where he will lead his whole life and where he will decide to live as a hermit in an isolated canyon.
February is Carnival month, and in different parts of Sicily there are beautiful parades of floats and masks. Among all, we remember the Carnival of Acireale and that of Sciacca. Pergolesi's Serva Padrona will be at the Massimo Theatre in Palermo, and from the 21st, Giuseppe Verdi's opera Falstaff. For any information, do not hesitate to contact our cultural department. We are available to all the world for anyone who desires Sicily. This is our mission. As you can see from these spectacular images taken by Giuseppe Di Stefano, Etna is erupting. With its 3,300 meters, it is the highest volcano in Europe. It is a destination not to be missed for those coming on vacation in Sicily. Many times the clouds are lower than the gigantic volcano and form a white carpet under its top. For over 2,000 years, watching the sunrise or sunset from the top of the volcano has always been a destination for travelers, students, emperors, and simple enthusiasts. We've talked about it in writings and reports. Look at the spectacular image of the summit, the sky of Sicily, the clouds and the sea in the distance. We wish everyone coming to Sicily to be able to be lucky enough to experience the thrill of a live eruption. At night, the sky is colored with fountains of fire, and a red snake descends from the sky. The explosions shake all the houses, and the ashes often become a problem when it falls from the sky, and women are forced to arm themselves with brooms to clean roofs and balconies. But don't worry, it's just a wonderful show. With a height of over 3,000 meters, the volcano is too far away to frighten residential areas. On the opposite side of Etna, in the capital of Palermo, kings and queens have adorned the city with wonderful architectural works over the centuries, making it one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Among the masterpieces of Palermo, there is the Royal Park of the Favorita, that in these images we see from above taken by the young people of Sicurdrone. Il Parco della Favorita was built in 1799 by King Ferdinando Borbone and is said to have been dedicated to his favorite lover. Inside the park, there are trees of various nature and different animals that the king used to hunt. You see Palermo almost surrounded by the huge greenery and by Monte Pellegrino, the most beautiful promontory in the world, according to several travelers who have visited Palermo over the centuries. Today the park connects to the capital with its renewed beach, Montello. Inside, there are also two wonderful buildings, the strange Oriental-Chinese style building and residence of the king, and the aristocratic Villa Niscemi, a beautiful residence full of antique furnishings and works of art with a beautiful English garden. On February 17, 1743, was born in Catania the noble Saverio Landolina, which was an antiquarian and an archaeologist. He was responsible for the extraordinary discovery of a Venus of the 2nd century AD, which takes its name from Venus Landolina, and which is now exhibited at the Orsi Museum in Syracuse. In Sicily, a visit to an archaeological museum is a must, since the island is very rich in millenary finds. In this exceptional video from the Luce Institute, we see the devastating eruption of Mascali in 1928, when the lava almost reached the sea. You see that it destroys everything it encounters on its way. It is a film from the fastest era, and the goal was to show the reconstruction of Mascali by the government in 1936. Children playing in a circle ring around the roses. Here this is a school dedicated to Rosa Mussolini, the mother of the fascist leader. Boys and girls in uniforms and endless fascist greetings. It was a different time. Cus patti ava meglio parte, which means who divides as the best part. And now our partner in the culture department, the writer Antonino Gangemi, introduces us to three Sicilians from the past.
Chi è stata la donna più bella di tutte? A Palermo non hanno dubbi. È stata Franca Florio.
Who was the most beautiful woman of all? In Palermo, they have no doubts, was Franca Florio, born in 1873, contested by all the nobility of Palermo and named the Queen of Palermo.
E chi ha inventato il jazz? Nick La Rocca.
And who invented jazz? Nick La Rocca, born in 1889. Sicilian origins, obviously. The parents emigrated from Salaparuta. He was the leader of the original Dixieland jazz band, that is generally regarded as the first recorded jazz band, a band which recorded and released the first jazz recording. And finally, I want to introduce you to Pietro Vento. He was very poor, a street poet. He went around the villages for the feast and enjoyed playing the drum and flying small hot air balloons. Non c'è festa né allegrizia se non c'è Pedro Salsiccia, which means there is no party or joy if there's no Peter Sausage. And also, it was his nickname. And here we are with next week's schedule. Wednesday, February 12th, for the Columns Awareness Square, we will go to Agira, Central Sicily. In this episode, a piece of bread, sweaty saints, 8 days closed at home, werewolves, and scented calendars. Monday, February 17th, the radio will broadcast an episode dedicated to the Maghrebi figure of Aleister Crowley, who founded a sort of satanic sect in Cefalù, the Abbey of Telema. Wednesday, February 19th, for the Sicilians of the past column, we will tell you about Theocritus, the poet of the shepherds, the inventor of bucolic poetry. The next appointment with the Cannolo report will be in 2 weeks, Sunday, February 23rd. And before saying goodbye to you, I want to remind you to help us to continue to do what we love to do, talk about Sicily. We wanted to transmit you this love that we have. And please help us by going to our page, www.SpanishSicily.com, or dialing the number you see on the display. Again, help us to continue to do this. And thank you very much. Until the next time, I wish you a smashing Sicily.